Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you for a moment, because if you're listening to this right now, it's not by accident. It's because somewhere deep inside of you, there's a voice that's tired of starting over, tired of saying, tomorrow, tired of explaining why you didn't do it again. This is 2026, and the reason you need to hear this every single morning is simple. Excuses have been running your life for too long. Every morning you wake up, you are handed a fresh opportunity. Not a guarantee, not a promise, an opportunity. And what most people do with that opportunity is hit snooze on it. They negotiate with their dreams. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start next week. When things slow down, let me tell you something. Your dream does not understand excuses. Your future does not care how tired you are. Life is not moved by explanations. It is moved by action. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you real plain today, because this right here might be the most important truth you ever accept about your life. It's not a lack of talent holding you back. It's not bad luck. It's not where you were born, who didn't help you, or what went wrong in your past. The biggest enemy of your dream has always been excuses. Quiet excuses, reasonable excuses. Excuses that sound smart enough to justify staying stuck. See, excuses don't show up looking dangerous. They show up sounding logical. I'm tired. I don't have time. I'll do it when things settle down. And before you know it, days turn into years, and you're still explaining instead of living. Talent will never outrun excuses. You can be gifted, educated, spiritual, and full of ideas, but if excuses lead your decisions, your potential stays trapped. Most people don't fail because they can't do it. They fail because they keep giving themselves permission not to try today. Excuses make procrastination feel comfortable. They allow you to delay responsibility without feeling guilty. But every time you excuse yourself from action, you are teaching your mind that quitting is acceptable. And once quitting becomes acceptable, greatness becomes optional. Let me tell you something important. Life does not reward intentions. Life rewards execution. You don't get credit for what you meant to do, what you almost did, or what you would have done if conditions were perfect. Conditions will never be perfect. Waiting for perfect timing is one of the most dangerous excuses because it feels wise, but it's fear in disguise. Excuses are expensive. They cost you progress. They cost you confidence. Every time you talk yourself out of doing the work, you lose a little belief in yourself. And after a while, you stop trusting your own promises. That's when people start saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. What's wrong is you've been negotiating with discipline instead of obeying it. Here's the truth most people avoid. Nobody else is responsible for your consistency. Nobody owes you motivation. Nobody is coming to push you every day. If you need perfect conditions, applause, or constant encouragement to move forward, excuses will always win. Successful people move even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's boring, even when it's lonely. Excuses also lie to you about tomorrow. They say, you'll do it later. But later is never guaranteed. Tomorrow doesn't belong to procrastinators. Tomorrow belongs to people who prepared today. Every dream you have is connected to action, and every excuse you make cuts that connection a little more. God didn't give you a vision so you could keep explaining why you haven't started. He gave it to you so you could walk in it. Faith is not passive. Faith requires movement. And excuses block blessings because they keep you inactive while asking for results. You've got to reach a point where your desire for change is stronger than your comfort with excuses. Where being tired of starting over hurts more than being tired from the work. The moment you stop explaining and start executing, everything shifts. Confidence comes back. Momentum builds. Discipline replaces doubt. This year, understand this clearly. Excuses are not harmless. They are dream killers. And the day you stop making them is the day your life finally starts moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that changed my life and will change yours if you let it sink in. How you start your morning is not a small thing. It is not just a routine. It is a decision that quietly controls the direction of your entire day and eventually your entire life. Most people are trying to fix their future while ignoring their mornings, and that's why they keep ending up in the same place. The morning is when your mind is most honest. Before the world gets loud, before problems start talking, Before doubt gets dressed up as logic, your morning reveals who's really in control, you or your excuses. If you wake up already defeated, already rushing, already complaining, you didn't just have a bad morning. You trained your mind to accept chaos and low expectations for the rest of the day. See, discipline in the morning is not about being extreme or perfect. It's about being intentional. When you wake up with purpose, even small actions create momentum. Making your bed, getting up when the alarm rings, taking a moment to center your thoughts, these things send a message to your brain that you are in charge today. And when you're in charge early, you're stronger later. Most people think motivation should wake them up. That's backwards. You wake up first, then motivation shows up after you start moving. Waiting to feel inspired before taking action is one of the biggest traps there is. Feelings are unreliable. Some mornings you're going to feel tired, unmotivated, and heavy. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks what you decided. Every successful person you admire understands this mornings are non-negotiable. They don't let their mood decide whether they show up. They don't let yesterday's failures steal today's effort. They don't carry last night's excuses into a brand new day. They treat mornings like sacred ground because they know that whatever they plant early will grow all day long. When you control your morning, you control your reactions. You stop letting small problems throw you off balance. You respond instead of reacting. You think clearer. You speak differently. Confidence doesn't magically appear. It's built in those quiet morning moments when you do what you said you were going to do, even when nobody's watching. Here's what most people don't realize. Success is not created in big moments. It's built in boring mornings. Repetition. Consistency. Showing up when it doesn't feel exciting. That's where the separation happens. That's where average habits get exposed and disciplined habits get rewarded. If you're serious about change, stop trying to fix everything at once. Fix your mornings first. Win the first hour, and the rest of the day starts falling in line. Lose the first hour, and you spend the rest of the day trying to recover. Your future is listening to what you do every morning, not what you say you'll do, not what you plan to do someday, what you actually do when the alarm goes off. If you want a different life, start with a different morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you about something most people misunderstand, and because they misunderstand it, they quit too early. They believe success comes from motivation. They think if they could just feel inspired every day, everything would change. But motivation is emotional, and emotions are inconsistent. That's why relying on motivation will always leave you stuck right where you are. Consistency is what separates dreamers from doers. It's not the big push, the viral moment, or the one good week. It's the small actions repeated even when nothing seems to be happening. Most people stop because they don't see results fast enough. They forget that progress is often silent before it becomes visible. Roots grow underground before anything breaks the surface, but if you dig them up every day to check, nothing ever grows. Consistency requires patience, and patience is uncomfortable. You have to work without applause. You have to believe without evidence. You have to keep showing up when your mind starts whispering, "This isn't working." That whisper is not truth, it's resistance. And resistance always shows up right before a breakthrough. Let me tell you the truth. Anyone can work hard for a week. Anyone can be disciplined when they're excited. But doing the right thing when it feels boring, repetitive, or lonely, that's rare. And rarity is what creates value. That's why most people quit right before consistency starts paying off. Consistency also builds identity. When you repeatedly keep promises to yourself, you stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and you start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. Confidence isn't loud. Confidence is quiet proof collected over time. It's built in those moments when nobody is watching, and you still do the work. You don't need to do more. You need to do less, better, and longer. Most people are exhausted because they keep starting new plans instead of staying committed to one. Consistency beats intensity every time. A little effort done daily will always outperform big effort done occasionally. Life will test your consistency. You will get tired. You will get distracted. You will get discouraged. That doesn't mean you're failing. That means you're human. The difference is disciplined people don't stop when they feel those things. They adjust, but they don't abandon. Consistency trains your mind to trust you. And once your mind trusts you, excuses lose their power. You stop negotiating. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop asking, do I feel like it today? Because your identity is already decided. Success is not a straight line. Some days will feel like you're moving backward. Some days you'll question everything. But consistency doesn't require certainty, it requires commitment. Commitment says, even if I don't see it yet, I'm not stopping. If you stay consistent long enough, results have no choice but to show up. That's not motivation talking. That's truth. Xpan 4Ki on 600 YSY Sidoan An Kakelel, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something most people don't want to hear, but deep down they already know it's true. Life is going to hurt either way. There is no version of life where pain is optional. The only real choice you get is which pain you're willing to live with. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One is temporary and the other one lasts a lifetime. Discipline hurts. Getting up when your body wants to stay in bed hurts. Saying no to comfort hurts. Pushing yourself when nobody is clapping hurts. Discipline asks you to sacrifice now for something you can't fully see yet, and that's why most people avoid it. They choose comfort because comfort feels good today, but comfort sends a bill later, and that bill is regret. Regret is a quiet pain. It doesn't scream at you when you're young. It waits. It shows up in moments when you're alone. It shows up when you see someone else living the life you once talked about. It shows up when you realize time moved forward, whether you did or not. Regret sounds like, I should have, I could have. If only I had started earlier. Discipline, on the other hand, speaks differently. Discipline says, do it anyway. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't need motivation. Discipline is uncomfortable, but it's honest. It tells you the truth up front. This is going to be hard, but it's worth it. Most people overestimate the pain of discipline and underestimate the pain of regret. They think working hard will exhaust them, but they don't realize regret drains you even more. Regret steals your confidence. It eats away at your peace. It makes you question your worth because you know you didn't give your best. Let me say this clearly. Discipline is painful, but it builds pride. Every time you do what you said you would do, something inside you grows stronger. You start trusting yourself. You start walking differently. You stop needing external validation because you know you're showing up for your own life. Regret does the opposite. Regret makes you doubt yourself. It makes you replay moments you can't redo. It makes you wish for time you can't get back. And the worst part is regret doesn't come from failure. It comes from not trying. You can live with failing. Failing teaches. Regret just haunts. The pain of discipline has an expiration date. You work, you grow, you improve, and eventually the pain turns into strength. The pain of regret has no deadline. It follows you into your later years. It sits next to you when things slow down. It reminds you of every excuse you made when you were capable of more. People think disciplined lives are restrictive, but they're actually free. Discipline gives you options. It gives you choices. Regret traps you in what might have been. Discipline opens doors. Regret locks them. Every day you are choosing your pain. When you hit snooze, when you avoid the work, when you talk yourself out of effort, you're choosing regret. When you show up tired, when you stay consistent, when you do the uncomfortable thing, you're choosing discipline. The truth is simple. The pain you avoid today becomes the pain you live with tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be perfectly clear with you today. God rewards effort, not comfort. Most people spend their lives praying for blessings, hoping for miracles, and waiting for things to be handed to them, but they forget the most important ingredient, effort. God sees what you do, not just what you say. He honors the work you put in, the sweat, the discipline, and the persistence. Comfort does not produce miracles. Comfort produces excuses, laziness, and regret. Think about it for a moment. How many people have prayed for success while sitting on the couch, scrolling on their phone, hoping somehow opportunity will knock on their door? That's not effort. That's wishful thinking. God doesn't reward people because they're comfortable or because life has been easy. He rewards people who get up early, who stay late, who push when everyone else quits, and who refuse to let fear dictate their actions. Effort is the language of faith in action. You can pray all you want, but if you don't act, your prayers will go unanswered in the ways you hope. God works with those who are willing to work. He doesn't give success to those who sleep through their purpose. Every step you take in the direction of your goals, every small action done consistently, is noticed. It may not look like it right away. The world may not clap. But God sees it, and He rewards it in His timing. Most people want blessings without labor, miracles without movement. That's why they feel stuck, frustrated, and overlooked. They fail to realize that comfort is the enemy of progress. The bed feels warmer than ambition. The easy road feels safer than growth. The voice of doubt feels louder than the voice of faith. And while you're comfortable, life is passing you by, opportunities are slipping, and someone else who refused comfort is taking your place. Effort doesn't always guarantee immediate results, but it always positions you for something greater. Every time you push yourself past tiredness, past fear, past the desire for ease, you are planting seeds. God doesn't only reward results, He rewards perseverance. He rewards those who refuse to quit, who refuse to settle, and who refuse to let excuses rule their lives. The labor itself is sacred because it shows commitment, faith, and courage. The world will try to convince you that comfort is a reward. It's not. Comfort is a trap. Waiting for things to be easy before you act is a lie you tell yourself to feel safe. God never intended for His greatest blessings to come to those who play it safe. He intended for those who step out even when scared, those who give their all, even when the outcome is uncertain, those who labor faithfully in the unseen moments. Understand this clearly. Your effort today builds your future tomorrow. Every action, every sacrifice, every moment you push yourself past comfort is noticed. It is shaping you. It is preparing you. It is building a life that aligns with your purpose. And when God finally rewards you, it will not be for what you wanted to happen. It will be for what you were willing to do to deserve it. God rewards effort, not comfort, not excuses, not waiting, not wishing. He rewards those who rise, who act, who work tirelessly, who refuse to let fear or ease dictate the course of their life. Your prayers matter. Your faith matters. But without effort, your potential will never be realized. Every morning you wake up is a chance to act, a chance to work, a chance to earn your blessings. Show up, work hard, push past comfort. God is watching and He rewards those who do. EXCUSESSPEAKER 600 war artists Ladies and gentlemen, let me make this absolutely clear. Your future is listening to what you do every morning. Every single morning is like a broadcast to the universe. And the messages you send shape your life long before anyone else sees it. When you wake up and roll over, hit snooze, and stumble through your day half asleep, your future hears, "I am not serious. I am not committed. I will wait." And when you do that day after day, month after month, you don't just lose time, you lose momentum, you lose confidence, and you lose opportunities that were waiting for your action. Most people don't understand how powerful mornings are. They think the day starts at the first meeting, the first call, or the first task. No, the day starts the moment your eyes open. That's when your mind is quiet, your will is untested, and your character has a chance to speak. The habits you create in these early hours echo throughout every other part of your life. If you wake up distracted, lazy, or unintentional, the rest of the day will be built on a weak foundation. If you wake up focused, disciplined, and determined, even the hardest tasks feel possible, and the hardest days become opportunities. Think about it. The person who consistently shows up early, prepares for the day, and acts before the world pressures them is the person who eventually wins. They're not extraordinary in talent or luck. They're ordinary people who made a simple decision to let every morning count. Success doesn't come from grand gestures alone. It comes from repeated intentional choices. And the first choice of the day, how you greet it, how you act, matters more than most people realize. Your future is listening to the small decisions. What you do first, when no one is watching, sets the tone. Do you wake up and scroll social media, allowing someone else's life to set the pace of your day? Do you hit snooze, telling your brain that comfort is more important than progress? Or do you rise, take control, and show yourself that your dreams matter more than excuses? The latter is how winners train their future to believe in them. The former is how average lives stay average. And here's the key: mornings are not just about productivity. They are about identity. Every time you act in alignment with your goals early in the day, you are telling yourself, I am capable. I am disciplined. I am serious about my life. Your mind starts to believe it, and when your mind believes it, your actions follow. Confidence, momentum, and clarity are not gifts. They are built in the quiet hours before the world tries to steal your focus. Most people ignore this truth because it feels small, invisible, and boring. But your future doesn't care about what's flashy. Your future cares about what's consistent. Every morning you act like you mean business. You are sending a signal that your dreams are not optional. Every morning you skip, procrastinate, or settle. Your future hears hesitation, doubt, and delay. The life you want is already on the line, waiting to respond to your morning decisions. So, listen carefully. Your future is listening to what you do every morning. Your results, your peace, your purpose, your happiness, they are being shaped before most people even open their eyes. Every choice, every action, every moment of discipline, no matter how small, is being recorded and echoed into your life. If you want change, if you want growth, if you want a life that reflects your dreams and potential, start with your mornings. Rise intentionally. Act decisively. Let your future hear clearly.